Gonna be ass, I ain't gonna lie. Like, getting rejected. Some bitches ignored the fuck out of me. I'd be like, you got a boyfriend? I had to fucking go home and beat my dick that night because I didn't have my game bag up. This is what I would recommend at the very beginning. Stop being selfish. I used to just not know what to say. Ooh, nigga, I started getting confident and bold, so I put my hand out, right? And then she grabbed my hand. You making a masterpiece, you're cooking. And that's how you know you have true game. If I had the bag that I had now, back then, let me stop. Peep Game. Look, it's your boy Brands Peep Game. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for the YouTube algorithm, and follow me on all platforms at Brands Peep Game. I'm giving y'all, 2 in 1 day. Come on now, I'm recording another vid because no script. I just gotta get into this one, right? Watch part 1 and part 2. I'll put the links in the description. Well, the how I became better with women, I don't know what I'm naming the second one, but watch those 2 parts, right? That focuses on the why and the how, right? The why is internal, like why am I not getting no bitches? You gotta break it down. After you break down the why you're not getting bitches, you start answering, you start working on yourself. The how you're getting them translate into what are you doing to get the biddies, and then you start leveling up your game. Your how comes from the experiences, right? So you got to trial and error that shit. I can't really give y'all no shortcut. You have to get out in the field and get that XP. This is when the game starts becoming fun as you get better. But before it gets fun, it's gonna be ass, I ain't gonna lie. Like, getting rejected. And this is coming from, I'm not, like I said, I'm not the highest level player in the game. A lot of them was like in public, right? I'll be at the store. But I remember I used to say, you got a boyfriend, because in my mind I'm thinking, all right, worst case scenario, it's like she could just lie and say yeah if she don't want to talk to me. But some bitches ignored the fuck out of me. I'd be like, you got a boyfriend? Just kept walking. I'm like, damn. But it started getting easier because it's like, that really wasn't that bad and nobody saw it. It's not like I'm up in the trenches and I'm like sliding in front of groups of people and shit, or like pulling up on her with her friends. I think I might have did that once. But like I said, I got enough game that I know the fundamentals of the game, and that's why I'm teaching the fundamentals of the game, because you can level yourself up. When I get y'all game, it really isn't a copy and paste type of deal. That's what I started to notice about the game is, you don't want to copy game. At the end of the day, you have to build your game. That's why I'm breaking down the principles to you. It starts with the why and it comes with the how. I'm just giving you the mindset to get your own answers. I can't tell you exactly what to do. This is what I would recommend at the very beginning as well. Just talk. Just talk, like regular conversation. And you have to learn to stop being selfish. You know that you want something out of every interaction that you have with a girl. Strangers, for example. The average stranger, probably, I'm maybe talking my age range. You know, them old heads be talking. But the average person, like my age range, maybe it's just around here. Tell me if I'm just in weird servers. The average interaction with a stranger is less than 20 seconds. Like, you're not really talking to people you don't know. And when you do, it's because you want something. So it's like, that's some shit that I started peeping. So I had to take another step back, and I'm like, all right, listen, start interacting with people and stop always needing something out of a situation, right? I used to just not know what to say. Like, I would start off with like just interview questions, like, oh yeah, you from around here? If we was at a bar or some shit. She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, what school you go to? Oh, what you go for? These are the regular, okay. And then after she tell me what she go for and shit, I'm like, damn, like, I'm thinking. I used to like draw blanks. Part of the reason why I was drawing blanks is because your ear is half your game. A lot of the times, I'm not really listening to what somebody's saying. I'm just thinking, like, how can I keep this going? You gotta go deeper on what you talking about. So if I ask her, what you go to school for? And she says, oh, I go for cosmetology or some shit, right? Old me, bot me, might try to think of the next question and be like, oh, word. Avoiding an opportunity. Peep game. As you start getting your game up, you realize your ear is half your game, because I could have went deeper on what she was talking about. So when I said what you go to school for, and she said cosmetology, another question, I could have easily said, oh, word, what made you want to get into that? Because when you start asking questions, you go deeper into asking questions, you don't even really have to do much talking. People will just start talking and opening up. You want to go deeper on what they was talking about. At first, play it innocent. That's what I used to do. I got my reps in of just having conversation, because as you start having conversations, you could go deeper. I tell you, when you don't have conversations, you're gonna get in situations where you started being a little bit more confident, but you're still not getting none. I remember I used to, I started getting confident and bold, so that was getting me dances at the club. That was getting me, I started making out a little bit, because a lot of it was low-key body language. That's another thing that you gotta learn. I remember I was at a club. Even the way you look at people is an opportunity. I might be walking, it might be a little bit crowded, and biddies is walking by, right? And I might have, made room for them to sit, let them go, right? And it's like, damn, and then you just wish you could have slid, right? Now what I started doing, like body language, when I start carrying myself, she started walking, I might let her turn, but I'm looking at her too, seeing she look back. Not no weird shit. This is where as you start doing trial and error, like, you're not being a weirdo, bro. As you get your game up, shit becomes less weird because you start having intentions of what you're doing. She could easily say no. So if she say no and I carry about my day, am I a weirdo for that? No. So when you start knowing that your actions aren't weird, it's easier to move a certain type of way. So when I do my stare, it's not no awkward ass stare like, what the fuck? So I remember I had turned and I looked, and she was looking back, and I put my hand out, right? And then she grabbed my hand, right? This was like a Halloween party or some shit. It was her and like two of her friends, right? And they was all dressed up. I think I was Spider-Man. He had like some bridesmaid shit, right? So I ended up talking to her a little bit. I did my little regular shit that I used to just try to get through it, but at the time I don't have as deep as a mouthpiece bag. This used to be my go-tos when I used to line up like a kiss or some shit. Like, I would just be a little bit witty with some shit that I could work off of, situational. So in this case with I was asking about the bridesmaid shit, and I was like, oh, these your bridesmaids or some shit? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so we getting married then, or something like that. And she's like, we can't. I was like, well, how are we getting married when we ain't even sealed with a kiss? So then next thing you know, I start macking, right? So after I was done macking, we're still in the club, right? But I'm not saying nothing. Eventually that same girl, right, they ended up just walking away, and I'm like, damn, like, because I didn't have my game bag up. So you gotta get your game bag up, because without a mouthpiece, you could get into certain situations like, ooh, but you don't have the rest of the tools. I remember I was in a situation, like, I don't even know how I get into some of these situations, but we in a club, he was twerking, I got a bitch twerking on me, and then another bitch twerking on her. Yo, probably about 4 bitches twerking all in front of me like a line, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, right? I'm that man, you see me at the party, everybody recording, I'm that guy, right? No, I had no mouthpiece. I ain't really say nothing after, and I had to fucking go home and beat my dick that night, thinking of a fucking foursome. So it's like, you really a loser just because you start getting your body language up and all that. Don't mean that you have game. Don't believe everything you see, bro. Cause like I said, bro, I used to have bitches around me. Like, this was before my loser shit too. Before I was on like heavy loser, before I had the beard beanie wolf in it, I used to be out and everybody, fuck with me. I get along with everybody and all that shit. So I used to have bitches around me. You see riding with bitch. Man, they want to take pictures. Like, yo, and it's not like I'm no gay best friend. Like, I'm cool. If I had the bag that I had now, back then, let me stop. As you start leveling up in the game, you'll start realizing how important the mouthpiece is. Because if you don't know how to use your words to get certain results, you're gonna be just like me. You're gonna be getting bitches at the club, going nowhere. You're gonna be making out at the club, it goes nowhere. You gotta look at this shit like the game of using your mouthpiece. It's like a cheetah. A cheetah, if a gazelle come in front of the cheetah, okay, the cheetah might eat the gazelle. But it's something about the chase, not chasing these bitches, but it's something about knowing you're a good hunter. When the cheetah is outwitting the gazelle, because it's more than just speed. The gazelle hit it with the juke, but it's seen the micros and it's adjusting to the juke. And even, this is why it gets fun, because even when a shorty get away, just knowing that your game leveled up through the hunt makes it worth it. Let me tell y'all a quick story, right? I remember, this is where when I was getting my game up, I wanted to 2-man with my friend. We ended up getting the ISO, right? Like I said about just talking, I was going deep, and you'll start getting creative. Like, it's like you enter a flow state without even realizing it. So we was talking and just sharing opinions. Like, she was a cool girl, right? And she was like, yeah, like, I'm always open to sharing my opinion and stuff because I like changing opinions and all that and shit like that. And I'm sharing it as well, being detached from the result. That's what I'm saying. You can't be too selfish, always wanting something out of it, right? I remember I was talking to her and she was saying she doesn't like when she'll have like a guy friend or something like that. Then next thing you know, they're randomly just trying to slide on her out of nowhere, right? Right here, I could have easily chalked the opportunity like, damn, I'm not trying to come across like that. So and play it that way. But I said no. To me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be looking undercover like a friend to begin with. How can I transition this pressure? This is what my mind's in the game. I think I told her, I was like, you know what I think you need? And she's like, what? I was like, I think you need an open relationship. She started laughing, right? When she started laughing, I done grabbed her hands. I'm like, nah, hear me out. And she's like, nah, I can't do that. I need a man all to myself. And I was like, you know what I like about you? She was like, huh? I was like, I like that you're always open to sharing your opinion. So Peep Game. This is, I hadn't planned this, right? But we had like an hour-long conversation. During our hour-long conversation, it's like I had a lot to work with because I was genuinely listening to what she was saying. So now when I transition and I start pivoting, now I'm applying the same shit that I listened to. So it's like the way you tie this back in, start making the game feel, it's like, ooh, it start tying together and you making a masterpiece. You're cooking. She's laughing. She's like, nah, I can't. And I'm like, why? Because you just need one man that, she's like, yeah, like, you need a man who just holds you whenever he feel like it. She's like, yeah, like, you need a man that just take you in and kiss you or whatever the fuck I was saying. And she's like, yeah, boom, I grab her, start kissing her right there. So Peep Game, and this I'm gonna show you where I went wrong, but you learn from it. Peep Game. So I'm macking with Shorty, and I paused for a second. I said, let's go to the bed. So now she's like, I can't, whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna push it too much, you know. I'm like, nah, it's all good. I ain't even worry about all that. And we start chilling, start talking some more, and I end up getting her number after this, right? Next day, I text her, right? She don't respond to me. This is what I'm saying about the enjoying the hunt, because that was a ooh, like I was so close to getting the gazelle, but the gazelle got away. So that in the time it don't feel good, because I'm also questioning like, damn, as you're leveling your game, I'll be trying to make sense of it. Like, damn, what the fuck? That looked like it was going well, all that shit. But then later on, it started to make sense, because later I had a different girl, not same day obviously. This is later on, and I use my conversation, besides the ear being half your game, it's like I treat the conversation like gathering intel. So I also change the topic of situations to see how I'm gonna go about sliding. So I remember I was talking to this one girl because I tried to do my usual strat, which is like, it's like some witty shit, and then I get into the kissing, right? I tried this twice. She dubbed the kiss. So I'm thinking back, I'm like, this is on me, like, because she'll still want to hang out again. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I'm like, okay, I gotta use my conversation to figure out how to get to the bag, right? I'm being undercover with it. So I remember we was having a conversation, and I was like, you ever kiss somebody at a party? And she's like, no. I'm like, so you one of those types that be like, oh, you gotta be dating and shit to do stuff, like wait till marriage type shit. And she was like, nah, it's not like that. I guess I never really had anybody really try it. I'm using the conversation to see how I'm gonna go about sliding. And she had said something, and this had upgraded my game, because she basically said, she was admitting that she's awkward and shit, and she was like, I guess things sort of have to happen without me realizing that they're happening. And when she said that, it all clicked back to the other shorty, right? When I slowed down from kissing and I paused and said, let's go to the bed, she realized everything that was happening, right? And she already said that she wasn't trying to do no more hookups and all that shit in our conversation, right? She know a nigga too smooth, so she's like, I can't, that nigga gonna fuck around and hook me up. So right there, if I would have played it differently, if I would have kept macking and picked her up and brought her to the bed anyways, instead of pausing, it would have been happening without her realizing that it's happening. Not saying that she still couldn't say no, but it's like, these is, as you get experience and you start hunting and you get in the hunt, you start learning for the next hunt. When the cheetah get juked out by the gazelle and the gazelle hit him with right? Now the next gazelle he go after, he looking for the he added to his bag. It's a whole nother game that's being played. And that's how you know you have true game. Because you don't even have to be the smoothest, but playing the game starts to get fun because leveling up is like, oh shit. But Peep Game, like my last video, I'm telling you, do not get lost in these women and start getting lost and just always trying to level up to a certain point that now it's time to focus on the grind. Because now when you focus on the grind and you locked in, you could always come back to these videos, man. And now you know you have the game, because even if you come back a little rusty, you understand it. But Peep Game though, lock in. The real players gonna lock in and level up. The imposters, I feel bad for you, I really do. And the bots, listen, y'all could break out of being in the bot loop. You just don't turn into the imposter. Put your mind to it. Peep Game.